Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Patricia Monna, and I felt pretty compelled today to have this live and answer some questions for you guys and talk about the state of the world right now, because I'm up in Canada and there's a lot going on an international scale and also on a personal scale as well. So before I do that, I'll introduce myself just in case there's people meeting me for the first time. I am a professional psychic medium. I do a lot of work internationally and locally with police on missing person cases. And to date, I found 30 missing people. So it works. It works. This crazy psychic stuff. There is a method to this madness, and I have figured it out. And so I do help a lot of local and international law enforcement with recovering loved ones. So I see people hopping online. Thank you guys joining me from Toronto. Rocks in Space joining me from space. We're all quantumly connected. So thank you guys so much. Ooh, from Israel. This is so awesome. I love it. I love Saudi Arabia. God bless you for joining me. I have no idea what time it is there, but I'm sure you're on a different, much different time zone. So thank you. From Germany and California and LA. Wow, you guys are literally light beams all over the world. And it's amazing. I love seeing how far these messages reach. And, I have to say, that was one of the blessings that came out of the pandemic for me. Was it did push me out of my comfort zone to go and start my YouTube channel, get messages out there. And I gotta tell you, I'm a little on the camera shy side. So I wanted to be able to answer your questions today, and also let you know what I'm picking up in this mad craziness that's happening right now. So I noticed some of my fellow Calgarians are joining me as well. So thank you so much. Hello, my brothers and sisters at home. We should be a little bit alarmed. I mean, when I say a little bit, I mean a lot, with the news that has just hit with our prime minister saying that you know what I'm talking about, is going to be mandatory. And that is very, very, very disturbing when the word mandatory is used in something that is so still ongoing and experimental. And we're seeing a ton of side effects from it. There has been deaths from that situation, and yet it's shoved under the rug. And so for people who haven't gotten it, and for people who have, it doesn't matter what side of the fence that you're on. It isn't even about that. It's about the fact that our prime minister wants to take away the freedom to choose. And when I looked at the article and listened to what he had to say, one of the reporters asked him, well, what about people who can't get it? Who, due to medical reasons, religious reasons? He said, no, it doesn't matter. They'll be fired. They'll lose their job. Federal employees will lose their job if they refuse to get it. And that to me is very, very disturbing, very alarming. And as far as I'm concerned, that is a form of rape. Putting something that I don't want inside of my body when I'm healthy. I haven't even had a sniffle since 2011. I'm knocking on wood. I'm not wrecking that long run of health. So I'm good. It should be a choice. And if we don't start fighting for that freedom of choice, my body, my choice, we've heard that before, right? Well, this is absolutely no different. And considering that we are supposed to be living in a democracy, it blows my mind that the word mandatory is even out there. Now, here's the really alarming piece that people need to really watch for. Our prime minister has run this country into the ground. He has over doubled the national debt in just the short amount of time that he's been leading this country. He's calling an election 2 years early. You need to understand what's not being said or the reason why he's doing this. He has called an election within 36 days. And the reason why I believe that's disturbing is he's not letting any of the other parties a fair chance to build their platform, for their voices to be heard, right? And in such a short election, as how do I say this? I know what's going on behind the scenes. And if we look down south at the type of voting machines, the Dominion voting machines that they use down there, we're using the same ones up here in Canada. And we need to start questioning, does our voice matter? Does our vote matter? Let's see how this goes down. The reason why he's calling an election 2 years early is because right now he has a minority government. So when he goes to try and push things through, like Bill C-10, that silences our voices and censors the media, he can't push that stuff through without being questioned. But with a majority government, he can. He can just rush everything through, such as mandatory vaccines, mandatory boosters, mandatory passports, right? Already in Quebec, they're saying that if you don't have the jab, you can't go into restaurants. You can't go into non-essential services. You can't go have your nails done, ladies, right? But here's my question. When did my medical background ever need to be public of where I go? And when I have been asked, and this is a little bit vulgar, but when I have been asked if I've been vaccinated, the first thing out of my mouth is, have you had gonorrhea? Have you had syphilis? Can you tell me about your experience with that? I'll tell you my experience with the vaccine. That's my response. Because it's no one's business what I choose to have in my body or not. And right now, it's not informed consent when we don't know how this is going to affect people's reproduction. We don't know, intergenerationally, how this is going to play out. We don't know. So we need to be very leery and start asking questions and start standing up for our sovereign rights, because this goes against everything that's been put in place. The Nuremberg Code, all of it, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. It's crazy what this prime minister is trying to do right now. And so if he does, in the midst of a pandemic, where he's had scandal after scandal. If you don't follow Canadian news, our lovely Prime Minister has had the WE scandal, the Jody Raybould with Essien Lavalin scandal. It's one thing after the other with this guy. And we need to remember he was a drama teacher. The other thing, too, that people forget, and we've been bombarded with so much news that we forget where this man comes from. His father was the prime minister. He was the man in charge of our country, and he was also in charge of the residential school systems. He was prime minister while those residential school systems were in place. And I am shocked that there has not been an outcry for our Indigenous community. I'm very saddened by that, because there hasn't been rallies. There hasn't been, like in the States with what happened with Black Lives Matter. Good on ya for sticking up for your people. I'm not one for violence, but there was a voice and these people felt they needed to be heard. Well, what about these voices, right? What are we doing to say this cannot continue, right? Well, Trudeau Jr., he grew up with a man that was in charge of it and did nothing about it. So the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree when he's trying to take away our rights now. He's trying to take away everyone's rights, the freedom to choose. So I tell you guys, we need to be very careful with this election on September 26th. Careful how you vote, because this is a man in his blood lineage that has not done the right thing. It's who he is. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So I'm going to have a look at some of these awesome comments and questions that are coming in. Diana says we need some clarity. Things are effed up. Yeah, they are. And I have to tell you, as a psychic, sitting back and keeping my mouth shut, it's tough. It's really tough. I don't want to be deplatformed like a lot of people are having happen right now. But at the same time, I got to say this. I have to say this because my alarm bells are screaming, and they have been all year. So where's this going? Okay, if you look at the technology that's in that thing, okay, there is something called luciferase. Get a load of that word. Luciferase. It's a bioluminary agent that actually makes your skin glow a different color when you're injected with this thing, so that they can put your hand under a light and tell if you're lying or not, because your hand will glow different. So I will say, yes, I can tell by looking at someone's auric field if they have had it or not. What I perceive is almost like little dots, fuzziness in someone's auric field. It almost looks like little black dots. You guys remember when a TV would go off air and you'd see the little fuzz all over the TV? That's what it looks like to me. It looks like distorted energy when someone has had it. So it makes me wonder, okay, if it's doing this to the auric field, what's it doing inside of our body as well, right? Because it disturbs the energy field around the person. So I don't know. I perceive it with my eyes. I can see it. And it was the same thing with when I was in nursing, where I could scan a person from head to toe and know where their cancer was, or know what was going on with them when they would pass away, because it's an energy. Disease starts in your auric field before it comes into the body and upsets the cells, disturbs the cells, right? Because everything is energy. So that's how psychics can, or even Reiki masters, when they're doing Reiki on someone, they can literally feel the energetic blip of when something isn't operating the way it should. A healthy resonance feels a certain way. And then a resonance that has, maybe it's not operating as well as it should, or maybe there was trauma or a broken bone. You'll actually feel that energetic right in that spot. It's weird, but you guys, it's there. So if it's messing with the biofield of us, what's it doing on the inside to our cells? Saudi Arabia, it's 12:30 a.m. Thank you so much for joining me and staying awake. Thank you. Greetings from the Netherlands. You guys, this is amazing. I love it. I love that the power of the internet brings us all together in this moment. Okay. Rocks in Space says governments must not tell people what they can put in their body or not. I absolutely agree with you. It's insane. Totally insane. And I think of the analogy of a big bowl of Skittles. If I told you that there was one in there that was laced with strychnine, would you still dig in and give your children the candy from the Skittle bowl? No. Why would you risk it, right? So no matter how little they say the percentage is, that percentage still represents a loved one. Why are we taking a risk if we're healthy? I understand, like, people got to do what they got to do. And you guys, whatever side of the fence we're on, we have no right to judge. We have no right to judge because people are going to do it according to what's on their timeline and their needs within their life, right? But yeah, I got to tell you, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. It really does. Oh, Paul Hellier passed on. I did not know that. We lost a good guy. Okay, question. Can you please have a scan for Canada? It's quite dark here, as it's also alarming how many people have participated in this experiment. It is very alarming. But I got to tell you, the road to hell is paved. It's huge. So I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. But it's people making choices out of fear, out of listening and believing in their governments, and that's why I bring up the residential school system. That was them. That was their family. His family was in charge of that. And now he's trying to mandate what I put inside my body. Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, no, thank you. That's like having Hitler's son in charge. No, thank you. And I will say, the energy is not going to feel any better this fall. When I scan it, it's the reason why I have not advertised any retreats or anything yet, because I feel that we may be facing further shutdowns again. And they're going to blame it on the people who didn't take it. And the funniest thing is, I will share this with you. So I read for a lot of doctors and nurses, and one of my good friends and clients is a charge nurse at one of the really big hospitals here in Calgary. And she told me, she says, Patricia, it's not the ones who haven't had it that are coming in droves. It's the ones who have had it that are now being hospitalized from it. She's like, you're not seeing many people coming in saying they didn't get it. And and my other girlfriend kind of pops in. She goes, funny enough, I'm one of the tracers who calls the people when they test positive. And she says, they've all had it that I'm calling. She goes, so obviously we've made a big mistake. This thing isn't working. It's not working. It's not working. So, okay. In America, we have America's frontline doctors filing suits against the government entities of our medical rights. Is that happening in Canada? Rocco Galati, I believe, is the one that is taking on the government. I pray for that guy. I keep him in my prayers every night. He's one of the ones that is filing lawsuits. I have heard of some. What is the name of the organization? I know if Rebel News, if you contact them, they have a list of the lawyers that are taking this on, because you guys, this is wrong. The government should be on trial for crimes against humanity. This is so unbelievably wrong. It's not even funny. And if we comply to this, what else are we going to have to comply to? What's next? What's next? Because one of the things, when I remote viewed the future, I do see that microchip. I do see them trying to bring in right out of the womb, microchip the child immediately. It's got his SIN number, bank records, health records, all the tickets he'll ever get for speeding, any sort of anything, even right down to money, where you move, social credit scores, all of that. That's part of the New World Order, one world government that they're trying to bring in. This way, they can have complete control over the population. They know where every single person is. And I know that they're going to sell it saying, oh, it's convenient. You'll be safe. We'll know where you are. You know, and they'll try. And then when that doesn't work, when people don't sign up, they're going to try and say, well, now you can't access anything without it. And I don't know. I was brought up believing that sounds pretty Mark of the Beast to me. Right? The other thing that I found very alarming is that the microchip that I'm referring to is already in production. And if you look up the patent number 2020-666, you're going to find that patent, that actual legal patent that Microsoft has on the body scan cryptocurrency microchip. Look it up, 2020-666. It's a cryptocurrency microchip. So I see where this is going. And if this timeline plays out, you guys, we're losing our rights as human beings. The other thing that's very disturbing as well is that in 2011, I think it was, they tried to patent. In 2013, Pathology versus Myriad Genetics in the United States of the Supreme Court ruled that you cannot patent human DNA as long as because it was a product of nature. But at the end of the ruling, the Supreme Court did rule that if you were to change a human genome by mRNA vaccines, which are currently being used, then the genome can be patented. So when you're putting the pieces together, it sounds pretty conspiracy theory. Well, a year ago, so did the word vaccine passports. And now it's here. A conspiracy theory is just 6 months give it 6 months and you'll see that it's not such a theory after all. But everyone is up. It's up to you guys to decide which timeline we believe in or which timeline we will be a part of playing out. And this election is a big one, because that's what this man stands for. And there's many governments that are in on this. It isn't just Canada. It's the US. I hate to say it. It wasn't the US before, but now with your new president, it sure is. He's a part of the New World Order. Same thing with China, Australia, Iran. There's a whole bunch of them that have signed up for this. So it's bigger than just a few people. And I think that that's why Trudeau just dropped yesterday that there will be consequences for the unvaccinated. He said that there'll be consequences for not taking it. So that, whether you're for it or not, that statement should disturb the heck out of you, honestly. Okay, let me see here. Can you tell us how long the Nazi passport will be in effect for? Oh, so yeah, I'm on the same. I'm like wanting this to blow over. But here's the thing. This is one virus. If this doesn't get the New World Order, everyone on board for it, what else are they going to release? This wasn't fluke, you guys. This was made in a lab. I saw that right from the very beginning that it was made in a lab. They had no right to even play with things like this. It's sick. It's sick. It's completely man-made. Rocks in space, I absolutely agree with you. It's just a stepping stone for totalitarianism. Absolutely, I agree. Do you see New York dropping the vaccine card requirement to get into restaurants, gyms, etc.? Timelines are splitting right now. Don't go into anywhere that requires that. Stand up when you are having those rallies, because the more people that are boycotting these places that are demanding that, they're going to have to listen. They're going to have to listen. I think they're banking on us being so exhausted from this whole ordeal that we're done fighting for our rights. But it's never been more important to stand up for what you believe in than now. Because I don't see them dropping it unless you guys stand up and change the timeline that you're on. David Icke was right about the chip in the 90s. Can I tell you guys something? So my dad was a long-distance truck driver that used to travel between the States and Canada. And he was so huge into Christianity and religion and politics that I thought for most of my life that my dad was just a crazy conspiracy theorist. And because he'd make me watch, my brother and I watch these videos on the microchip, the mark of the beast, the end days, all of this stuff that as a kid, it would scare me. It was like, why do I need to watch this? But you know what? Looking back, he was preparing me for the state of the world that I'm now currently living in. And I'm going to be honest, I thought he was crazy. I thought that I would never see it in my lifetime. And he said, he goes, you watch, this will play out between now and 2030. And it's crazy to see this stuff that my parents showed me happening. I knew about this microchip since I was about 7 or 8 years old, and the technology that would run off of it. This has been in the making for years, you guys. That's why Mr. Gates dropped the ball saying, oh yeah, in this presidency, there will be a pandemic like no one has ever seen before. It was either Fauci or Gates that said that. Well, I don't think either one of them claimed to be psychic, but both of them work in this and work hand in hand. So anyways, okay, let me see here. Okay, I think that the New York vaccine card requirement is more of a new thing. When I was there last week, none of the restaurants cared or even wore masks. Excellent. Good. Because we need people to stand up for their rights. What about the Nuremberg rules? Pauline asks. What about ivermectin, hydrochloroquine? Rainer Fulmark is bringing class action lawsuit. Please God, is he successful? Yes, I absolutely believe that ivermectin and hydrochloroquine do absolutely help, and that's why they tried to shoot it down. Because here's the other thing, because if there is something that can treat this, they are not allowed to make they're not allowed to release something without the proper studies in such little amount of time. So they had to discredit that medication. But I know quite a few people who have taken it and their symptoms were gone right away. So yeah, we got to be fighting for the right to bring in the medication that actually helps to treat it, for sure. Hi, Melina. Great to see you on here. Be still and know. I love that. I have that on my wrist. Be still. Just got chills when you speak about your dad prepping. Yeah, but that's the cool thing about the way the universe works. You know, our teachers are always right in front of us, and it's up to us to believe and embrace what they have to say. And as a kid, I used to sit there and be like, "Oh, I'm really sorry about my dad. You know, I know they're really religious, and that's all they talk about." Oh my God, I was so embarrassed as a teenager with my parents. And now I look back and I'd give anything to have him here and go, "Dad, look what's happening." I know he does see it, but he's seen it from the other side. So it's difficult to keep our vibration high with all of this. Yes, let's talk about that, Angel. Let's talk about that because I absolutely agree with you. Now, here's the thing. As light workers, not only is the support coming in droves from the angelic realm, it is the suit of armor that we are wrapping ourselves in now has never been, it's never been greater. And I mean that. And that's why, how do I explain this? Our light is being ignited right now like you would not believe. A lot of light workers are barely sleeping right now, feeling either really energized or really drained. It's usually one of the extremes. It depends on where we're resonating at. But I got to tell you, do not look at what's happening in that state of fear. Find your peace, because we are all teachers and we all affect change exactly where we are. And if we feed into fear, well, our thoughts become our actions become our reality. Right? We can be easily swayed into things that we would normally not agree to if we're under pressure and stress. So now is the time to find our peace, to plug in to our highest light. This is what we've been prepared for as light workers, right? Is to do the work. And I truly believe that. Even with my parents, they taught me how to pray so that I could teach others how to pray. And I get that now, because how we are going to affect change is by being that difference. You need to embody the difference. We can't just talk about it. We have to be it, right? So wherever you can, you need to be spreading kindness. And I'll tell you, kindness is a currency. There's a beautiful kickback of love that you get. That's why it feels so great to help someone in need. It feels naturally all tingly and warm. Live off of that. Find someone to help. If you feel like crap, go volunteer. I'm dead serious. I started doing that. I think it was my angels actually who told me to do that. You want to feel better? Go make someone else feel better. And that's what I do now. When I'm having a bad day, I'll go buy someone their coffee in line. I'll just go find someone to help, or I'll create a situation like, go line up for coffee. Who's behind me? Let me go make their day, and pay for their order. Something little to cause a shift in someone else's day. Because you guys, we never know what another person is carrying and the stress that they're feeling in that moment, right? This is when we need to practice forgiveness and acceptance and love and be that difference. I have a collection of police tickets in Calgary for refusing to put on my mask. Interesting. I'll tell you something. So I didn't wear a mask the whole time, but on day 3, I did get an exemption from my doctor. And the interesting thing is, I don't know why, but no one confronted me. No one was rude. No one questioned me about not wearing one. So it may be the energy that we're bringing to the table. And I mean that because I'm not looking for a fight. I was just looking to do my shopping. and go home, right? And I think that energy speaks. When there's people walking in there like this, like bring it on, if, you know what I mean, then you might be looking for the ticket. But yeah, we need to be responsible for the energy that we're bringing in. There's a new MG Art says there's a new Vice video showing it coming out of a needle, calling it the future of medicine. Little drop with a little chip. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it invades every single cell and reads your body systems and reads where you are in the world. It's crazy what they're capable of doing now with just the tip of a needle. What do you see for Australia? So you guys got hit hard, and I gotta say I've prayed a lot for Australia because I've read for a lot of clients out of there lately, and I am so unbelievably proud of you guys for standing up for your rights. I've seen some serious, amazing rallies, but even with that, it's not in the mainstream news. It's people sending it. You know what I mean? Because everything's so censored. And I hate to say it, but Canada and Australia are ruled by the same family, and they're all part of that New World Order. So I don't think that it's good unless we do something unless we start questioning the narrative and going, yeah, I want no part of this, and it's my sovereign right to not have a part of this script. It is. But yeah, no, it doesn't feel good. Okay, let me see here. Okay. What are your thoughts on this being a simulation? Nancy, you just hit the nail on the head. I just said that. I did a sacred ceremony and meditation the other day, and that's exactly what I saw. I totally saw the timeline that we're on right now. I saw where it started, and it started way back, you guys. These plans have been in the making since before World War II. It's a script, and this is a simulation. It feels very real, this avatar, this meat suit that this soul ended up in. But now here's the thing. What people don't understand is we need to be very, very protective of our consciousness, because our consciousness, our body is what houses the consciousness. And there are other entities or other streams of consciousness that can very easily merge with your mind, and their narrative then becomes the topic in your head over and over. So always be very careful what you're allowing inside of your consciousness. And I mean that. I used to listen to Eminem. I used to jam out to him all the time. Now I can't because it's too filled with hate. I don't vibe with hate. I never did. But, it was the cool song on the radio until you start listening to what you're programming in your cells. And then I was mortified when I realized, oh my God, I played that around my kids a few times. Not today, thank you. Because sound is vibration. Vibration is energy. Energy gets into your cells, literally. And what the mind perceives, the body receives. That's why our thoughts can make us mad, happy. Thoughts are the beginning of creation, right? Thoughts are where everything comes from. This was someone's thought. This was someone's thought, right? So if something else is going to mess with you, it's going to start with your thoughts. And it's going to feel like you're just having a bad day, or your energy is just off, or you just can't shake it. Yeah. So what you need to do, if you've been feeling that, check your energy, check your auric field even. So the way you can do it is just close your eyes, take a big deep breath in, and just exhale out all tension. And then just begin by bringing your awareness around your body. Feel the energy that surrounds you, and feel for any sort of energetic differences when you check your bubble. Feel your bubble. In your mind's eye, truth will be seen. You will feel it if there is anything stuck to your grid. And just scan your body. You'll feel it if there's attachments on there. And then from there, you can call in your angels. You can call the Holy Spirit. You can call God. Bring in the light. And I mean it. It's not, what I'm talking about is not religion. It's a stream of consciousness. It's a stream of miraculous energy. God is a light source. It's a vibration of information and energy and healing that we are all privy to. We can all call upon that light to surround us immediately, guard, guide, and protect us, and wrap yourself in that light. See any attachments completely dissolving off of you. And I say this, and this, I mean it when I say this stuff is real. And there is energies that can attack us. It usually happens in the auric field, then it gets into the mind, then it gets into the body. Then that's not a good situation. And I say this because I scan people's energy for a living. There's something to it. Every single one of us has our own unique resonant signature. And that's what I track and trace when I'm doing a missing person case, right? So trust me when I say, if there's attachments, you'll feel it, whether or not you're psychic, whether or not you're even sensitive to energy. It'll be like, oh, what is that? Is there just right there? What is that? If you pick anything up like that, blast it with light. Blast it. Immediately ask Archangel Michael to come and sever any ties to any lower dimensional realities, entities, and seal it with the white light of the Holy Spirit. That's exactly what I want to, that's exactly what I do if you want to know my methods. Okay. Okay, Kelsey asks, would it be advisable to pull our kids out of public schools? That is what my intuition is telling me. My son is starting preschool this fall, and as a young parent, this has been such a scary time. I agree with you, and that is tough because having kids home all day, school is a little bit of a reprieve, but at the same time, you have to ask yourself, what are they embedding into my child's grid? What are they filling their memories, their knowledge with, all of that, right? Because they're teaching our kids some pretty scary stuff. I know that up here in Canada, there's a new curriculum that they wanted to implement, and there was a big uprising about it. And I think they're not implementing it anymore because the parents spoke out. If you do have the time to teach your child, absolutely, I would. But each person, it's according to you and what you need, what your family needs. But the school system, or even if you were to put your son into a private school, or I know the Catholic school isn't much better, but at least they practice morals and teach kids about morals and stuff. Whereas in the public system, they skip over that stuff quite a bit. But you have to listen to what your intuition as a mother is telling you. There's a reason why it's telling you that. Amy says, do you see Nasara Jasara happening? I lost my job of 10 years last year and don't really resonate with my new job. Any career insights? So I'm going to be honest with you. The Nasara Jasara, I don't know a whole heck of a lot about it. I heard about it a few times last year. But that's like with universal basic income and stuff. You know what? Let me give you a piece of career advice. Follow your heart. What do you love to do? What would you do for free with your time? If money was no object, if I handed you $10 million, what would you do with your time? What calls to your soul? What do you love to do? And the reason why I say that, and also think back to when you were a child, what did you love to do back then? Because when we're children, we just came from the other side. We know who we're going to become. And that's why children have this huge overactive imagination, and they remember things, and they'll talk about angels, and they'll talk about, I remember when you were little and I was big, which is a really cool thing to ask your child if they're under 5. Do you remember when I was little and you were big? They'll tell you stories about your past life. But as a child, I always knew that I wanted to help people. So I followed that. I found a way, and it got me exactly where I am today. What do you love to do? There's a reason why you're drawn to certain things, right? Because this world, it needs doctors, it needs nurses, it needs shoemakers and car repair men, it needs bus drivers, it needs everything, right? And this world needs you and your specialty. And your specialty should be your passion, because it's your passion for a reason. It's been programmed into your matrix for a reason. And if you don't know what your passion is, start there. While you're working at a job that's not so much resonating with you, build something else. Do you need to go into business for yourself? Because I have to tell you right now, I'm so glad that I don't have someone pressuring me with their agenda, right? It may be time to utilize your talents. What do you love to do? I started making bracelets. I've been making bracelets, hematite, and selenite bracelets, and I pray over them. And I pray that whoever purchases them and walks out with them, that they're blessed, that they feel the blessings that I'm imprinting into the jewelry. And something told me to do that. So I did. And I like doing crafts. So I can't make them fast enough. So when you do what's been placed on your heart, God will guide you to how to make money at it. Get back to what you love, and you will see where your heart is leading you, because your passion and your purpose are married. They are one. We are here to affect changes in certain ways. And employment, when you're doing what you don't like for 8 to 10 hours a day, you're not affecting change the way you're programmed to. So we got to get back into our passions and reignite our souls. Okay, what else? Can you tell us if the quantum healing med beds will be used one day? Yes, I do believe that they will be used one day. And now here's the thing. If you want a med bed now, but it's not a med bed, Rife therapy. I cannot stress that enough. It's frequency therapy. That's exactly how these med beds are going to work off of. It's all frequencies. And did you know that the microchip that they want to put in, they can even set it up to do virtual delivery of your medication? That it blew my mind when I read that. And it made sense, because Rife therapy is frequency therapy. And if you know the frequencies will say to a heart medication or a blood pressure pill, you just press the button and that frequency is now moving through that body, healing that person, or doing exactly what a pill would have done instead, right? So understand how to work with frequencies now. Rife therapy, it saved my life. I cannot stress that enough. I regenerated all the nerves in my legs by using Rife therapy. And what it is, if you think of the way doctors get rid of kidney stones, what they do is they match the vibration of the kidney stone. It oscillates, it blows up, and you pee it out. Well, that's how Rife therapy heals. It has the machine that I have has over 40,000 different ailments and the frequencies programmed into the machine. And then it pumps the frequencies and you don't even feel it. You feel nothing because of the wavelength that it uses. It doesn't register as pain or shocks or anything. It's just frequencies that go through the body. Pauline's asking what Rife machine is effective. I'll show you. Hang on. I have, and I know that you guys can get this one in the US. I have my little Healy. I'll show you all my little gizmos and gadgets. I love this stuff. I love working with frequencies because it's made the biggest difference in my life, in my healing, in my health, and my family. Like the stuff we have treated I'm telling you, frequency therapy is where it's at. So this is a Healy, and this is basically a wearable Rife machine, little mini guy. So it's not like it specializes in cancer or anything, because yes, Rife therapy can also blast cancer cells. But this Bluetooths to your phone, and then these little bands go around your wrists, and it hooks up with these little buttons here, and then the frequencies go through your body, and it's wearable. So that's a Healy, and yes, it does work. It does work. The only thing that I don't like about this one is you can feel it. And some of the frequencies, if you have it high up enough, it almost feels like a TENS machine, like it's shocking you a little bit. I don't like that. So the one that I use for my clients and in my office is called a GB4000. That's the one I've seen the most amazing results with. I also, and I will show you something else that's really cool. So I was on Jason Shirka's YouTube channel, and I was contacted by one of his viewers that he listened to me talking about Rife therapy, and he says, well, I created a Rife laser pen, and blew my mind. So he ended up sending me one, and I have to say, this thing is amazing. So it was created by Dr. Nell, and it's called the Life Shield Laser, and it's www.lifeshieldlaser.com. And he did give me a code to be able to give, my clients, if they were interested in getting one, he gave me a code for $200 off, so it brings it down to cost. So I will share that with you guys. I will leave the code in the comments. And actually, for anyone who's got a pen and paper listening to me live, I did write it down. It is capital P 766 capital M. Yeah, that gives you a $200 discount on the Life Shield laser. And I gotta say, it's the bomb. So I don't know if I did this into the camera yesterday at my class, and it was really cool. So you guys ready? I wonder if you guys can feel that when I do it. So this has 2,200 different frequencies, healing frequencies programmed into it. And even as I do that, I can feel it's just this gentle, beautiful tingle on my hand. And you can use it to charge your water, charge your food. Yeah, look it up, lifeshieldlaser.com. This one's really, really cool. I'm full of little gizmos and gadgets. I'm super sensitive to energy, and especially EMF and all that. So I have, another really cool thing. My Defender Shield blanket. This completely blocks out EMF, radiation, all of that, and psychic attacks. For anyone who is sensitive to energy or psychic attacks, I'm telling you, I've slept like a baby with this thing. So yeah, it's amazing. I'm thinking to myself, okay, so psychic attacks must have like this really, really low vibrational energy, like 5G or radiation or EMF, if it's blocking it out, right? So it's I don't know, little observation. Okay. Miguel, hello from Spain. Thank you so much for joining us. Wouldn't you say that this mandatory vaccine may be happening to help wake up a lot of people that still don't get what really is going on? Well, we can look at it in so many different ways, but the way for me that I see it as blatant control of the people. They want access to all of our records, so we can't hide anything, right? And that's what this passport is. It's insane that they want to micromanage our lives like this. So is it to wake up people? Well, what was Auschwitz? How maybe in, the next generation is going to learn when they look backwards the same way we looked backwards and hopefully learned, but I don't think we've learned. Because now this is medical segregation. right? And it's them against us. They want division. That's what they want, is division, because they know that we are stronger together. It's just like unified prayer. When people come together, hold hands, and pray together, oh my God, you're floating amongst the angels. It is amplified like you would not believe, right? Because we are powerful together. Divided, we crumble. So I hope it's waking people up. I really do. But there are people out there. I've read in comments such ignorant stuff like, um, I hope, not towards me, but towards other unvaccinated people, where it was, I hope you die. I hope this and this and this on you. And I'm like, wow, when did it go this far with the hate? Right? But it was the same thing with when you ask, a person from Germany, how did it go that far? How did it get that far? Where there was concentration camps, right? Up here in Canada, we had quarantine camps. What's that all about? Because up here, women were getting raped in these quarantine camps. They weren't getting fed. There was medical emergencies. They weren't allowed out of their rooms for 3 days. And that's 3 days if you got a negative. You better pray for a negative. But they weren't allowed out of their rooms for longer than 15 minutes at a time. When we're used to living in a free country and we've done nothing wrong and we're not criminals, something's not right here, right? I'm just shocked at the complacency of our fellow Canadians who agreed to it. Pauline, is your Rife machine good for leaky gut and chronic fatigue? Absolutely, yes it is. And it's interesting you ask about chronic fatigue, because the night before last, I literally couldn't sleep, not a wink. I don't know. I think the energies were off the charts or something, because couldn't sleep. My whole body was twitching from energy. And the next day I ran the chronic fatigue channels, and I swear that's what kept me awake yesterday, because I had a full day of readings and then had to teach from 7 to 9:30 last night. So yeah, it definitely works. And you feel a difference. You feel it. Right away, you'll feel a difference with it. Can you speak of sound therapy? I am playing at sound baths recently. Just got my crystal singing bowls for 32 hertz. Yay, Leah, that is awesome. Yes, sound therapy is vibrational therapy. Vibrational therapy is energy therapy, right? And we are all energy. And that's why when you play the singing bowls, I play them at my meditation, and it's heaven. It is so heaven to listen to a singing bowl. But yeah, it helps to re-energize the cells, to heal on a cellular level. So yeah, frequencies is definitely the medicine of the future and the medicine of the past, because in the Great Pyramids, it's attuned to, I believe that one of the chambers is attuned to 111 hertz. And so they would bring someone who needed healing to that chamber and do chanting and singing, and that would create the 111 hertz, and that person would heal. So I think that sound therapy has been around for a long, long time. It's just, it's now coming up, and the time is now, because it's so needed. It's such a simple way to bring our personal resonance back into alignment. So that's awesome that you're playing the singing bowls. I love them. Love them. Where's the love for, Jeanette asks, where's the love for humanity when we need it the most? I know, but it's in us to give. That's the thing. We are here to affect change. So even if you're being faced with the angriest of person, put down the biggest shield of light and just don't bring it into your field. Literally, do not accept it as your truth. That's whatever they got going on. Doesn't mean you have to take it on yourself, right? So the greatest thing that you can do for humanity, your family, and yourself is to find your peace right now, because we are the light that is needed for the people who are shrouded in darkness right now and clouded. Their judgment is all over the place. Okay. Shannon, does anyone else in your family have your guess? Yeah, all three of my boys actually are very, very psychic. I'm trying to talk my younger two. My oldest one is an electrician, but my younger two, I'm trying, and they're not young. I'm talking 20 and 21. But I'm trying to talk them into joining me because, yeah, they're super, super psychic. Super psychic. Would you do a Singing Bowl YouTube special? Steve asks. Yes, I should do that. Absolutely. The reason why I haven't played the singing bowls in my meditations online is because the mic cuts out for some reason. And I even bought an expensive external mic, about one of those Yeti things, and I still don't know how to use it, so that the singing bowl isn't causing my voice to cut out and vice versa. So got to get my millennial kids to help me with that one. And then, yes, I will do a singing bowl meditation. Perfect. I'm the lady that messaged you about the tsunami this weekend that will hit the Caribbean islands and east coast of the USA. Okay. So, okay, thank you. I told you to message me on here and I'll look into that. So it's interesting that you're talking about the tsunami, because I have picked up on quite the destruction that would happen this year from the wildfires that were happening, that we're seeing all across in BC and in Alberta, down in the States. When it comes, how do I explain this? When it comes to predicting world weather or catastrophes, it's something that I'm not super comfortable with, because it tunes in to a lot of destruction and death. So it's not something I normally bring my focus to, is natural disasters and stuff. But I will tell you, I don't believe that you're far off. I do believe that there is more natural disasters that are going to be hitting the States, and not just the States. It feels like other countries are going to be affected as well with some really bad weather. And I think that continues from August to September. And then it feels like there's a calm when it comes to October, November. So I pray for everybody's safety. And you guys, tomorrow is never guaranteed. This is why we have to live each minute to the fullest. We have to live our life to the fullest and embrace the day. We can't be waiting to be happy. You have to create it, and it is there. Happiness is a frequency. It's a vibration. It's not a car. It's not a house. It's not the perfect relationship. Someone can have all of that and still be miserable. Look at Robin Williams. Look what happened there. If you guys want the closest movie to what happens when we die, I would say it's what dreams become. No. What dreams? I don't know why I'm having such a brain fart on it. The one with Robin Williams, What Dreams May Come, I think is the name of it. Anyways, when I watched that movie, I couldn't believe it. It was like, oh my God, someone was working with a psychic. What dreams may come. Yeah, thank you. I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa, they knew what they were talking about here. This is a channeled movie. Whoever wrote this channeled this movie, because it's a very accurate depiction of what happens when we pass over. And that's why I was so shocked and so saddened to hear that he had taken his own life, because he was in that movie and still chose to end his life. So yeah, what dreams may come it's an excellent movie. Pauline, wow, you look too young to have children in their 20s. My oldest is going to be 26 October 3rd. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll take that. Someone said to me the other day, they're like, "Oh, what skincare regime do you use?" And I'm like, it's not that. Most of the time I wash my face with like Ivory soap. It's not that. I got happy. I got happy because when I was miserable and dealing with depression and anxiety, hating life because I was in so much pain with my legs, I was 210 pounds walking with a cane. I had more wrinkles on my face. I looked 10 years older then, back in 2009, than I do now. I look younger now, or I think I do, than I did back then. And the difference is I got happy. Honest to God, I got happy. And when I feel myself dipping at all, because I'm human, right? We all have our off days. But when I feel myself dipping, I catch myself now. I refuse to live in sadness the way I did. And so I turn the high vibrational music on. I go for a walk with my dogs. I I do what inspires me and ignites my soul. And yeah, I got happy. So, okay, Bella, can I give you something positive to hold on to? Okay, let me see here. Yeah, go within. This is still a bit of a cocoon phase for a lot of people. And if you notice, even though, in Alberta, we've been, the gate has been wide open and now we don't have to mask or anything like that, there's still a heaviness in the air. There's still an agitation with people. It's still heavy out there. So for light workers that are finding it difficult to process heavy energy right now, go back to your sacred space. Go back to what feels home to you. Go back to nature. Go back to your happiness. Come back and turtle yourself. Be protective of your energy right now. Because when you ask me, can I give you anything positive to hang on to? My immediate, honest answer in my head was, nope, not really. That's why we have to create our happiness. We have to create what we want to hold on to. Because I think we're going into unprecedented times. And nothing positive came to mind. It's my honest answer. Could singing be considered sound frequency therapy? I've had some strange things happen when simply vocalizing during meditation. Absolutely. You want to feel heaven in every cell of your body? Chant Om from the top all the way to the bottom of the breath. Chant Om. That vibration is 7.83 hertz, and it harmonizes you and makes you one with nature. And so you're literally harmonizing every cell in your body with nature, and it feels amazing. So yes, singing is vibration. So here's another thing too. If you want to have affirmations really work, have powerful affirmations work, you know what you need to do is actually write them out first and then click record and have visualize yourself having exactly the life that you want, that you're saying in your affirmation. Visualize it as you're saying it and record your voice, because no one has more powerful resonance in your personal body than your own tone, your own vibration, because your cells are constantly listening to your vibration. You have commanded your body to listen to your voice, right? So it's going to be easier to manifest something if you record your own affirmations and listen to it back, and then put binaural beats in the background as the music, or have it playing in the background as you're recording your affirmations. And do frequencies for happiness, for abundance, for love, whatever it is that you want to work on and manifest. There's a frequency for that. So have that playing in the background of the recording, and you're nailing your conscious mind, the subconscious mind, your cells, everything. So yeah, record your own. Okay, where? Oh my God. Hi, sorry, give me just 1 second. Okay, Magda, anything you can say why me and my mom don't get on? I came to Poland to look after her, but it's not working. Immediately when I read that, I got that there's generational healing that needs to take place. And between you and your mom, there is a lot of healing that needs to take place. Your heart is absolutely in the right place to be there to take care of her, especially since nobody else would. You're an amazing, amazing light worker. And I think that the universe has put you there to affect change wherever you can. Don't think that your mom's not listening. What you say is getting in there. She can just be stubborn, right? So it's a test of patience. It's a test of unconditional love. So hang in there. There's stuff that needs to be healed. Pray for her. Surround her with light, and you'll see a shift. It may be subtle, it may be little, right? Come at her with the vibration of love and kindness, not the quick, no, I don't want to do that, or no, I need to do this, or do you know what I mean? It's an energy. It's an energy. Because your mom is snappy. I can feel that. Edgy, anxious. And so it will be that back and forth, if that makes sense. So be the light, be the peace, bring it in. You're there to affect change and to help her raise her consciousness. Okay, let me see here. Sorry, why can't I scroll up? Okay, sorry guys, I'm just reading some of the questions. Okay. Are you going to do psychic classes again? I'd be very interested. Yes, keep an eye out on my website. I just finished a 4-week program called Quantum Psychic. It was so amazing. And I do activations in there. I explain all my methods. We work on targets together. Yeah, it was really cool. So I will probably be doing another one in the fall. I just need to look at my calendar. Ever since I was on Gaia's TV show Beyond Belief with George Norrie, and then I was on Jason Shirka's channel, my calendar blew up. And so I got to look at when I'll be able to have 4 weeks again back to back for that. But this fall, I'm aiming for this fall. Oh, Magda, thank you. Planet Earth is supposed to be moving to 5D. How is it that which things are still wrong, like Canada, Afghanistan? Because it's the old. It's the old trying to fight the new. It's literally, there is such a spiritual warfare out there happening, you guys. We see such a small percentage of what's actually out there, right? And if you could see the energetic fights that are happening right in front of our eyes, you'd understand how all of a sudden you got a shift of, oh, I don't like this, or, oh, I feel like crap all of a sudden. Yeah, you might have just walked through a fight, a battlefield, and not necessarily know it. And I mean it when I say energy can get imprinted in places. And if you're sensitive enough, you will feel that. In my last class, I was just talking about geographical imprints and how energy can get recorded there. So that when you walk through it, like you look at the 9/11 memorial site, when I went there, it was so loud with grief and horror that I was like, did anyone clear the land here yet, or do blessings, or sage it? To me, it was so loud, right? And when I did a little bit more looking into it, well, the more people that pass away in one area, the harder that is to get out of the grid of that geographical location. So it would take probably years of prayers to lift the sadness off of that geographical imprint. But yeah, it's almost like it plays on record, or plays over and over in these spots. So that's why we're here. We're here to bring in the 5D. Now, here's the thing. 5D is an embodiment. I mean that because the soul inside of the body is what is interdimensional, right? So if you learn how to astral travel, you're practicing your interdimensionality, right? When you pray and meditate, you have instant access to cosmic peace. You have access to other realms, right? And the more you practice, the more you pray, the more you meditate, all of it, the more access you have to that 5D information. And the way I look at the difference between 3D and 5D is almost left brain and right brain, because the left brain logic is the 3D, it's the tangible, it's analytical, it's here. 5D is the right brain. I'm going out. I'm daydreaming. It's arts. It's creativity. It's storytelling. It's all of that stuff is the right brain. The right brain is 5D access. So the more you get into that state of prayer and meditation, painting, I can't stress that enough, how much that works. If I'm working on a missing person case and I'm stuck, I'll go do a paint by numbers, or I'll go for a drive in my car. And the reason why is because it gets me out of my left brain logic. It gives the left brain something to do. Happy 111, guys. I love that number. And 1111. Anyways, it gives my left brain logic something to do. So it's way easier to be able to bust open that visual that will provide me the information that I need. And even in remote viewing at the Monroe Institute, they teach you got to give your left brain logic something to do, something tangible. And that's what will give you access to those higher realms of information, because it's all there. Everything's recorded in the matrix. Everything, every thought you say, every thought you think, every word you say, it's recorded in the matrix, and it's got your energetic signature on it as well. So, okay, give me one sec. Do you see, All is One asked, do you see an abundance of walk-ins coming into human vessels to help turn the tide? Yes, I do. Absolutely, yes, I do. But I also see bad walk-ins as well coming in. So we do need to be careful what we're letting inside of our vessel. When it comes to the children that are being born right now, oh my God, there's so many little light workers that are being born. These babies glow such a high rate of light around them that it's beautiful to watch. So I know that there will be huge shifts in our future when our children become of age, and when our children's children become of age. Okay. Where Allison asks, where do you go for advice? I'm the one helping all of my friends and family, which I love to do. I just feel like I don't really have a go-to person like they have with me, just trying to balance it. So Allison, you know who my best secret keeper is? My angels, my spirit guides. Humans are going to let you down. They will gossip. They will backstab. They will talk behind your back because they're humans, right? Grab an angel. Grab an ear. I'm dead serious. You will hear them talk back to you. When you need to spill and get it out of you, because that's me too. I feel the exact same way you do. I have very few people that know me, if you will. I'm really transparent, but I'm very careful with who I let into my inner circle. And so if I'm needing that and to get it out of me, I will go for a drive. I will literally visualize my angel sitting right next to me, and I'll start talking out loud. Now, here's the trick to this. Yes, you will hear your angel's voice back. It's not going to sound like some disembodied voice in your head. It's going to feel like you're making up a story. Okay? Go with it. I'm dead serious. Everything on the other side is telepathic. Some people can actually hear their angels, but most of the time it sounds like your own voice, right? It's the voiceless voice. And the way I describe it is listen for the bounce back voice, because there is always someone talking to us. We mistake it for us. We do. We're so used to it. We're so used to hearing our angels and our guides talking to us all the time that we don't realize that, oh, that's not me saying that in my head. Same thing with when you have a brilliant idea. Where did you get a brilliant idea from? Where did it drop in from? Right? We always have our guardian angel right next to us who's ready and willing to listen to us. So my go-to is my guardian angel, to be very honest with you. That's who knows me. That's who knows me. That and my husband. He's pretty cool beans as well. He knows me. Okay. Where do you see the monetary system going? Should we pull our money out of the big banks? Be very careful what you're investing your money in. Absolutely. I think that they are going to try and crash all the markets and everything, so that they can bring in a new currency, a digital currency. So we need to be aware of what we're investing our money in. Personally, I'm selling my rental house. I'm paying off my mortgage, because I don't need no government saying, yeah, I'll pay your bills, but then I'm going to own your house, because that's part of that new world order, right? You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Yeah, no, you don't dictate my happiness. Sorry, not today, Satan. So I'm paying off my bills, and putting my money away. That's me personally. Okay, so Deborah says, why is it easier to see and feel for others more than myself? Is there something I can do to see more for me? Faith, trust. You know what you feel and you see in another person. But there's trust issues, seeing and feeling within yourself. You're second guessing yourself. Don't do that. So here's the thing. Truth is a statement. It's strong. It's got gold behind it. It is strong. Truth is a statement. Ego or a lie or falsehood leads to questions. It leads to questions. Know who you are. Be confident in the information that and the connection of information that you have going on for yourself, right? Don't second guess it. Don't second guess it, because you're not second guessing it when the information comes through for other people, right? So it's a vibration of trust, self-confidence. That's what you need to stand in order for your own messages to come through clearer. Okay. Okay. I recently have been cutting off my bio family. This is CC. I recently have been cutting off my bio family and feel as if I am an outcast of the fam. I've just been through a lot as a child, teen, and feel my trauma is coming up now in adulthood. So yes, there's a reason why it's coming up now to be addressed, because you can't be bringing that trauma with you into the future for the future that you want to create. So you are absolutely not alone, and I mean that. I'm going to be very honest. I haven't talked to my brother in almost 15 years, and I haven't talked to my sister in almost 2. And I am 100% okay with that. I am at peace with that. And it's not that I'm one for separation, but you have to be careful what you're choosing to tolerate in your life, because you're teaching people how to treat you, right? And I will not tolerate their behavior. I wouldn't tolerate it for my kids or my husband, so why would I tolerate it for my brother or my sister, right? That's the wonderful thing about being an adult. We get to choose now who we are hanging out with and who we spend our time with. So if people can't appreciate your presence and embrace your light in a loving and supporting way, do they have a place in your life? Do they? You know, because if they're not there to support with love, for me, my clients have been family to me. My friends are family to me. That's the family that I want around me. So even at Christmas, we have orphans dinners where you don't have family. Well, you do now. You're eating in my house, and we usually have a big feast, you know. And it's amazing. It's the family that you create. So do not feel bad if there's healing that needs to take place. Now, here's the thing: I do not wish ill on my brother. I do not wish ill on my sister. I don't wish ill on anybody. I don't. I can love them from afar. Absolutely. You know, because a 5-minute wonderful visit has more quality than a 2-day visit that was 2 days of hell, right? So put some parameters and some boundaries around yourself when it comes to your family. If you have to talk to them, if you have to visit with them, don't expend yourself to where it's uncomfortable or you're putting up with their abuse. Walk away. Okay. Expanding Spirit says, what do you make of someone who humbly says they don't resonate with past lives? Follow Patricia in your heart. The light is all you need. They don't. So, okay. What do you make of someone who humbly says that they don't resonate with past lives? That's we. You know what? None of us technically know until we get there, right? Honestly, no one's been able to successfully come back and say this and this and this is what's happened and I can prove it. And the closest thing for me to proving life after death is finding missing people, right? But we're all on our own journey of and different levels of understanding. And you know, and just like it says in the Bible, in my Father's kingdom there are many mansions. I believe that there are so many different heavens, that there's one for every religion, there's one for all of us, right? And if you don't believe in past lives, that's totally, that's your timeline, that's your belief system. Hang on to that. Okay, Billy Still in No says, I have noticed so many people in my life coming back around after years of not speaking and asking me to give guidance. I am so open and willing to help. That is amazing. That is excellent. And it shows that you are the difference. Absolutely. It's beautiful. Okay. So I just realized the time. I really got to go. I was way longer than I should have been. I'm like 5 minutes from my next reading. So I love you guys so much. I hope I didn't ramble too much, and I hope I was able to answer your questions. We will do this again. I promise. So yeah, join me. I am doing a free Zoom prayer circle, prayers and meditation for humanity. I believe that one is on August 30th, and I will be broadcasting it live on YouTube as well as on Facebook. I think I'm kind of technically challenged. So anyways, I hope you will join me. It'll be at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, but I'll put it on the community page. I'm getting to learn this whole YouTube stuff, so bear with me, guys. Anyways, God bless you. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Take care.